everyone. Welcome to the Trading Battle sponsored by ACAP. We've got two superstar guests for today's battle. Phillip Konchar of TraderCast is back with us. He's got a quarter century of investing experience and has been margin trading since 2004. We've also got Andrew Lockwood of ForexSignals.com. From trading pits to trading screens, he's been in the market for more than 30 years. Now, with all of this experience under your belt, gentlemen, I expect a good trading session. But viewers, please be mindful. This is not the way our pros normally trade. They're in the hot seat today and forced to give us ideas, and whereas normally they'll probably wait up for their setups and then get right in. So we've got a lot to talk about today. We've got the U.S. inflation data. We have Canadian labor market data. Let's get right to it. Phillip, I know that you don't normally trade Forex, and if I remember correctly, your bread and butter is trading equity index and commodity futures. But last time you were on, I remember that you couldn't help but dabble in currencies. So for our very first challenge, we're going to be looking at what these two traders are going to set us up for the next 10, 15 minutes. As I said, we've got Canadian labor market numbers, U.S. producer prices. Phillip, what are you looking at your first trades?
It's good to be back, and thank you so much. Thank you all of the viewers who kind of coped with my madness last time. So you probably liked it, and I'm back now. But anyway, I would normally trade Dow Jones, Nasdaq, S&P. That would be my bread and butter stuff. But because we want a little bit of variety today, and we have Canadian numbers, I thought I will do something a little bit different today. And what we are going to do is we are going to place two orders. We are going to create basically a volatility breakout setup. And in my case, this would be with dollar CAD, obviously, because of the Canadian unemployment. So I don't know how the numbers might came up. I would normally sit and wait. The rule was never have anything open ahead of the major numbers if you are trading intraday. And then you react to the number as it comes out. But because we need to do this ahead, so let's do it ahead. So dollar CAD is uptrending here, loss of uptrend, retest. This is first lower high. It's a little bit more corrective. This could be previous support, newly found resistance. This is my resistance. I'm seeing this as a falling wedge. They have the tendency to break to the upside, but because I don't know how the market might react to the numbers, we are going to place two orders. So the first order is going to be short at 1.2585 down here, with a stop at 126.35 above, with a view to take profit down here at 125. The other order is going to be long at 126.35 with stop at 125.80, with take profit at 127.17. So one cancels the other. So whatever happens, whichever way market reacts to the number, one of them will be picked up. I am risking being stopped out twice. Okay, I would normally have my kind of hand ready, and I would quickly cancel the kind of one of these orders if they're not canceled automatically, and I would very quickly readjust the stop and take partial profits. But we will talk about trade management a little bit later. So that's the one that I'm going on ahead of the number for now.
Okay, so you're looking at this. He's got dollar CAD on, which will definitely be affected by the Canadian employment numbers. Are you worried about U.S. inflation data, or do you think that's going to be a bit more of a non-event compared to the CAD labor market numbers?
No, I'm aware of the importance of inflation. Firstly, obviously, markets, U.S. markets were concentrating on treasury yields, fixed income, fixed kind of bond kind of trading. Then we all moved to inflation. Then we started talking about tapering and rate hikes and things like that. So markets will definitely react to U.S. inflation. But I'm going to leave that for my dear friend Andrew, because he's going to be talking about some indices, and I don't want to overstep in his territory. And I'll trade indices as well, but I'll probably kind of jump in and tell you what I'm doing live.
Are you doing my job? Okay, Andrew, what are you looking at for the data?
Okay, well, good afternoon, Kathy. First of all, thank you very much for having me on today. I feel quite honoured to be on with you today. One of the guys in the room, and I was chatting to them yesterday about me coming on here. And they said, "Are you nervous?" I said, "Well, hang on. For 20 years, I was basically standing beside people in the trading pits, trying to take money off the person beside me. So here I am again. So I'm delighted to be here doing exactly the same all these years on." Okay, so I think, Phil, you've got a really bold call there. I think that's a great way to play this number. Obviously, it's going to be a soft number or a strong number, and I think it will move the CAD. Certainly, the way we've been seeing the the CAD move of time. Obviously, CAD's been weakening up, and we've seen we've seen the Bank of Canada this week reasonably sort of sitting on their hands, waiting, of course, to see the outcome of these data releases that we got coming down the line. So for you as well, the not being a massive FX trader, really good to see you taking those FX trades right out of the bat. But I am going to take a play on an indice, and I'm really looking at the S&P 500. Okay, so the S&P 500, it's basically the top 500 companies traded out in the US, and it's basically been on a tear really for the recent months, making continuous higher highs as we go. A lot of the analysts are talking about a correction. I don't see that at the moment, and I see that the bias really is for trend continuation. Today we're seeing trend continuation again. We're in this sort of channel that you've seen here on the sort of 4-hour chart, and I think now with the momentum behind the stocks, having had what was like a 2% drop this week already, now composure, and now follow some sort of some bullish momentum following through. I'm taking a trade into the numbers, basically long the S&P 500. So if you can place that trade for me, and we'll have a stop. You can basically place it now, really, Kathy, if we can. I'm going to place a stop there at around 44.90, which is about 20 pips. It's basically the low of below the yesterday's low. So that's the way I'll be placing that one. So basically in around that level now, sort of just basically around the low of yesterday. And my profit target, whether we get here today, Friday afternoon, lots of data has already gone this week. If we do push higher, then I'll be looking to take profits out just ahead of the 45,500 level at 45.45. So we can get that one plugged in. That will be great. But again, I think the PPI numbers coming out today, we're expecting, what are we expecting? We're expecting up 0.6 or something like that. Of course, producer price is very important, but these central bankers, Powell, he's been talking about transitory pressures all the time. Basically, the inflation is temporary. These producer prices numbers is the first number in that chain of inflation data. So if producer prices are pushing up, that could see the follow through in inflation, which is more than just pandemic related. So if there's strong PPI numbers, I would expect to see these numbers. I'd expect to see some follow through in the indices as well.
Okay, great stuff. And I want to talk more about the rates that you just mentioned. But Philip, we need to get and actually both of you, we need to get the stops and targets again for our producers and probably for our audience, maybe following your trades. So if you don't mind,
can I go again?
repeat them.
Can I go again? Okay.
Yes.
Well, they're on my screen as well. Anyway, so my volatility breakouts, one cancels the other order is short dollar CAD at 125.85 with stop at 126.35. Take profit 125 even. Long trades at 126.35. Stop 125.80. Take profit 127.17. So basically what I'm looking for is I'm looking for either a rally from here, a little pullback maybe, and then a gradual move for the rest of the day into here. The alternative trade is negative reaction, dollar weakness, CAD strength, a little bit of this, whipsaw here, and then a gradual move lower towards this area here for the rest of the day. So that's the kind of one cancels the other volatility breakout ahead of the numbers. Normally very speculative, highly speculative way of trading. But it's a show, so let's do this. I'm also looking to short right now Dow. I'm shorting down now at 35,027. I think that's the figure that you guys have, with a very, very tight. This is going to be a really scalp stop at 35.63 with a take profit at 34,980.
All right, good stuff. I need to give Andrew a chance to provide his stops again.
Sorry.
Okay, so we're going to be taking longs now with the stop down there at 44.90. Okay, which is basically towards the end of yesterday's low. Okay, so this is the daily chart you see on my screen here at the moment. If I can just make it a little bit bigger. This bullish momentum that we've been seeing, it continues. Each pullback that we've seen basically seems to be short-lived. I mean, this pullback you had back there, okay, these pullbacks, short-lived, continuation. We've pulled right back into this support. I would say this will act as support on the way down. Anything below there, support broken, I want to be out of the trade. But for now, 44.90 for the stop, and profit targets, we're out there at 44.45, just approaching all-time highs, and makes for a decent risk reward on this trading battle trade. So profit targets at 45.45.
So this is going to be very interesting and a lot of fun because our indices traders in FX and our FX traders in indices. And the best part of this is that they're both on opposite sides. You know, Andrew is long stocks, Philip is short stocks. And so one of them is going to be wrong, one of them is going to be right, or maybe not, because I know from my experience that based upon how long you end up holding the positions, both traders could end up being right, because one could be going for a short move, another could be going for a long move. So we will get to see in just a few minutes. Now, as we are counting down, we're about 2 minutes away to the data. The market is indeed expecting a slightly weaker inflation data from the US from the previous month, 0.6% against 1% previous. And it is expecting a stronger Canadian employment report with more job growth, as well as a lower unemployment rate. Now, the CAD numbers, because the expectations are, especially for the unemployment rate, is so different from the previous month, we could very well have a larger reaction and a very big reaction in the Canadian dollar. So we're going to have some very interesting trades post data, because I think that, you know, we're going to have quite a bit of a move. But as we stand now, that's what the market is looking for. And the Canadian dollar is very, very strong. We had oil prices crash yesterday after China announced that they were going to release the strategic reserves, but it's right back up. And CAD is as well. So I think we're about 30 seconds, maybe even less, away from the number. So I'm going to watch my other screens and see.
Yeah, if you're, Kathy, sorry to interrupt there. If your producer there can get ready, maybe have the CAD yen on the screen as well, because I would be taking a CAD yen trade higher if we see some really strong numbers. Canadian data, as we all know, is very, very unpredictable. But if it's a really strong number and we see the CAD move, I'm going to buy it against the weak one. So you have him on standby for that. You've got about 7 seconds.
Yep. CAD yen is what we're looking at right now. So we've got a few more seconds, still waiting and counting this down. And the numbers
month with the year-on-year coming in at 8.3%. Excluding energy on the month, 0.6, with the year-on-year at 6.7%. Net change in employment from Canada, 90,000.
There's 90,000. They're quite good numbers out of Canada. If you can buy the CAD yen for me now, please.
All right, Andrew is buying the CAD yen on the inflation
and I'm going to put a
data.
stop. And I'm going to put a stop below 86.90.
The year-on-year coming in at 6.7%. Moving to Canada, the net change in employment, 90,000.
So for Canada itself, the labor market numbers, the unemployment rate was 7.1 against 7.3 expected. So very, very good. The employment change was actually a little lower.
Trade here as well, please.
All right, go ahead,
Mind
Philip.
if I jump in?
Jump in, please.
Eurocard short at market with stop at 149.30, 149.30.
All right, so both of our traders have
Take
gone
profit
long.
146 take profit.
Did you trade over the over your one cancelled other order, Phil? Did it get activated?
Let me just see. I think the short one was the short one triggered?
Okay, producers, was the short trade triggered in dollar CAD? No, the trades were not triggered. We don't have a huge
Not
reaction
triggered.
in dollar CAD.
It's pretty
Okay.
pretty muted, actually, Kathy. To be honest, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very. So, Philip, where's your profit target on EuroCAD?
It's the one that I'm going to keep open for a while, unless I change that. But 146 even, 14600.
Okay, so that's a fairly. What's your stop on this?
Stop is tight, 30 points, 149.30, 149.30.
Well, these are the risk rewards that our traders love. You've got, a couple hundred pip target, really tight stop. So, that one should be looking pretty good. All right.
Yeah,
so as I said,
yeah.
I'm gonna let our traders show their charts, explain why they're getting in. I just want to recap the data real quick. As I said, the headline number in CAD employment was slightly under. The unemployment rate was very, very good. So overall, you can see the markets driving the loonie higher. Not a lot, but typically we got more of a reaction in the crosses than the majors, which is why both of our traders are in the crosses. U.S. inflation data also stronger all around, which is dollar positive. But unfortunately, not much reaction in the dollar either. Dollar yen, when I looked earlier, was 109.81 before the number. It's right now 6 pips higher, which is nothing. Euro dollar is about 3 pips away, but you don't want to hear from me. Let me go to Andrew first, who will show us his chart, maybe explain why you wanted to get into that CAD yen trade, and also how is your Dow trade doing?
Okay, well, let's just first look at this CAD yen. Okay, this is something that I rely on in all my trading, all my Forex trading. It's one of the reasons why I came into Forex sort of back in 2006, having sort of tried out the screens, lost a ton of money when I started. It's basically because of this. It shows me exactly what's happening at this moment in time. It doesn't predict the future, Kathy, unfortunately. Nothing does, but it tells me where the money is flowing at the moment. And if you can see the purple line at the moment, the CAD has been strong. This is the 4-hour chart. The CAD has been strong in the run up to that as well. I'm driving down to the 1-hour chart now. You see the CAD has got the strongest in the basket of 8 currencies, and the weakest currencies down here at the moment. If I'm trend following, I want to buy the strong ones. I want to sell the weak ones. And if you look here, the 2 weakest currencies are the Japanese yen and the Swiss franc. It's all a risk back, risk on, risk off. So that's why I like the bias of this trade. And obviously the good numbers, I'm expecting a bit of a follow through. CAD has been sold off significantly over the last 3 or 4 trading days. They almost took a sigh of relief when you had the Bank of Canada this week. Now I think there's going to be some short-term repositioning of backing into the CAD as well. The only fear factor of this on a fundamental level, I would say, would be obviously the pandemic over there at the moment. They are getting a bit concerned. The central bank is getting a bit concerned about the a 3rd or 4th wave, I should say now, which maybe will delay any sort of further increase in tapering there. So that's the fundamental reason why it doesn't work. But I'm a technical trader. At the moment, I'm buying strong and selling weak. In terms of my bond trade, how's that? In terms of my stock trade, how is that looking at the moment? I don't think it's moved very much, is it? Let's have a look here. We've got S&P 500. This hasn't moved, is it? We are slightly up, 35.05. So what am I long at? I'm long at 95, aren't I? You're having a push up now.
Your scoreboard is up there, and I think you started your S&P at 45.11, about that, and that's, yes, you're up a little bit.
45.11.
Yeah. For our viewers, so basically from what I understand and what I think Andrew is trying to tell us is that from his charts, all of those spaghetti lines on his charts are different currencies. And he's using the chart as a visual indicator to show which currencies are the strongest, which currencies are the weakest. And instead of gravitation back to, or mean reversion back to the middle line, if I understand you correctly, Andrew, you're trying to ride the divergences. You're trying to basically go along with the ones that are the strongest and pair that against the ones with the weakest, rather than looking at a reversion back to the middle line, for example, the white line. If someone can pull up Andrew's chart, that'd be great.
Well, the beauty about this, Kathy, I mean, as I say, it doesn't predict the future, but it tells me where the money is flowing. So I do have traders that will use it for reversal back to the mean as well, which is obviously will be counter trend. But for trend following, I think trading is all about having an edge, and ultimately, we don't know where the markets are going the moment we place the trade. We've got a bias, we have an edge. For me, the edge for me is following the trend or do nothing. If the trend is moving in a direction, my edge is to buy the strong currency and sell the weak one. What this will also show me, Kathy, is also currency pairs that aren't trending, that aren't doing anything, that are just stuck there. So why am I going to put my risk money on currencies that are just tracking each other, unless I want to be a range trader? But if I'm trending, if I'm a trend follower, then clearly that's what I want to do. So and the other thing about that, if you look at the you can see my chart now, and hopefully I can draw on here as well. Currencies that are moving like that and currencies that are moving like that, of course, that's trending. I like to get in the trend on a pullback, Kathy. And ideally, I like to see one of the currencies pulling back. So maybe this currency will pull back. That would be a good time to get in. If both of them are pulling back, then that sometimes is a concern. It's one of the trades. I'll maybe sit back and wait. I want the high probability trades or trends, as it were. And this gives me the sort of the sort of broad view of everything that's happening at the moment, so I can decide to take the trade or not. But you can use it in both ways, or three ways: trend, counter trend, and of course, if you are one of those range traders, which can be very very lucrative. For me, it's not the way I trade the markets, so that's why I use this for. It's very important to me.
So let's take a look at how Philip's trades are doing, and maybe you can walk us through some of the setups on the trades, and then we're going to have to go to the second challenge relatively soon, which will be a fun one.
Euro CAD, that's ticking along a little bit. The reason why I decided to go with that, it's a very basic structure here. We have a bit of a selling pressure here. These lines are just the basic moving averages, nothing exceptional. This is just a dumb, unemotional mathematical formula, which is called stochastics, which tells me the overextended market conditions. The price is coming fairly close to a 20-period moving average. It could bounce off that, but also if we see a continuation to the downside, an end-of-day close below these clusters of the lows, something like this could possibly happen. And then we could see a gradual move lower to any of these previous lows here. So obviously the ultimate one would be down here towards 146, which gives us that disproportionate amount of potential reward for much smaller and kind of very definite and much smaller amount of risk that I'm willing to take on this trade. Yet again, this was a trade which was triggered by the numbers or reaction to the numbers, and that's all it is. So far, it looks like it could potentially do that. Okay, so that's a kind of logic behind it. Yet again, dollar CAD, it's not doing anything. I keep saying that this was the uptrend. The price is below 20-period moving average, but above 50 and 200. So in my book, this is still consolidating sideways. In 4-hourly, it's a little bit more definite. Falling wedges, they have tendency to break to the upside. In clearly defined uptrending markets, they have the tendency to do that. So that's why we have these two conditional orders. Take profit here for the long or take profit here for the short. None of them were triggered. I don't want to go into too much detail on that. And my Dow trade, I agree with Andrew. This is only a corrective pullback when you look at NASDAQ and S&P and so on and so on. But We've been trading for a very long time, and what normally happens is if you see this big reversal candle here ahead of the US cash markets opening, that creates a gap that you guys can see when you come to your trading desks in US, and we were privileged of seeing it developing while you're asleep. So what happens is normally the first reaction is to push back down that price and then test that yesterday's closing level as a level of reference point, in this case support, for a breakout higher. That's what normally happens, And in my kind of rule is if it's between 10 to 15, 20 points on S&P, that's kind of acceptable. If it's anything more than that, it might not happen. It's the same thing with the Dow as well. So there's a certain amount of points that I'm willing to kind of play this. And it's a very speculative kind of scalp ahead of the open. If it doesn't work out, I'll lose 30 points. I'm fine with that. But if it does, I'll be buyer at these lows. If it dips, I'll be happy to buy. Okay, so that's the logic behind it. So longer term bias. Sorry, go on.
It's a very clear and direct system. It's obvious to, I hope, me and everyone who's watching this, that Phillip trades trend line breaks with chart patterns, which I think is relatively easy to understand if you follow because his charts are pretty clear. All right. So we have the next challenge. The next challenge is where the fun really is. And basically, it's your opportunity to sabotage your opponent. And what I'd like for you to do is to think about 3 trades that you absolutely hate and you think is going to really set your opponent back. Hopefully one in crypto, one maybe in commodities, maybe one in indices, whatever you're looking at. But whatever you think is something that your opponent is going to really struggle with. The only rule that we have is that you have to hold the position for at least 10 minutes before you close the trade. So what we're going to do actually for our viewers at home is we're going to take a 2 minutes of silence at 8:46, which is in 3 minutes for September 11th. But we still have 3 minutes. So I want to go ahead and maybe give Phillip the chance to talk first and maybe just kick us off with 3 trades, and then we'll talk about it after we respectfully remember what happened September 11th.
Okay, just give me a kind of a nod, please, if I overrun by those 3 minutes, but I'll be very quick. So, Andrew, I like you, and since you like kind of currencies, I would like to give you long Aussie New Zealand long at market now. I would also like you to short sterling Japanese yen now. And what would you like to do with Bitcoin? Do you want to go long or short? What do you want to go long or short?
I know exactly what I want to do with Bitcoin, but I'll take the punches.
Do you want to go long or short?
I'll tell you what. You've just given me 2 sucker punches already, which I'll talk about maybe after the silence. You can throw me a Bitcoin.
50,
and I'll see if I can
long short. What do you want to go with Bitcoin?
Is it a double bluff? I'm buying Bitcoin. What do you want to do?
Buying. Okay. Long Bitcoin for my friend Andrew here.
Thank you.
You're not making his life hard. First of all, you're giving him 2 Forex trades, which is right in his wheelhouse. And you're letting him go long Bitcoin. You're making his life easy today, I think.
No, he's not. No, she's not, Kathy. No, he's not.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. We still have 2 minutes. Maybe you want to shoot out your trades, Andrew?
Yeah, I think Philip's been doing his research on me, and I think that's why he's given me those 2 dreadful trades. First of all, he's given me the Aussie New Zealand, which is on my chart at the moment. This currency pair has been a fantastic downtrending market. He knows the way I'm playing this market, so that's why he's given me that trade there. We have just broken through some massive level of, not massive level, it's a big level of support where I expect the market to have been respecting. It did respect it. It came up, it retested it. So this level in here that I'll draw in now. Again, Kathy, tell me if I'm talking over the time, but this level here, a big level of resistance. This is the previous support often previous support on the higher time frame charts, acts as resistance. It came back up, it retested, it's rolling back over. I want to be selling this trade. I'll be selling this all day long. He's put me long. I've got 10 minutes of pain while I've got to sit with this trade. If I had to put stops in here, if I was long this trade, I would have stops. When I'm trading, Kathy, I think it's a great way for beginner traders to respect. A 2 ATR stop normally is good enough for me. So ATR on this, that's the average true range, is about 15 pips. Give me a 30 pip stop on here and give me a 3 ATR profit target, a 45 pip profit target.
Okay, I'm going to have to cut you off there. We're going to take our 2 minutes of silence, and then we'll come back and we're going to talk about trades from Philip. Okay, and now we are back. I know that you're still going to walk us through the pound yen and the Bitcoin, Andrew, but before we do that, because Philip needs to hold his trades for 10 minutes, can you give us 3 trades for Philip that you think is going to set him sideways?
Okay, just yeah, I like you too, Phil, and I know you're not a big fan of the Forex market. Well, you might be a fan of it, but it's not your most actively trading entity. So because I like you so much, I'm going to give you a Forex trade. Okay, so this is going to be in line with pretty much how I trade. This, for me, trade ticks the boxes fundamentally and technically. I believe the New Zealand dollar has got some strength building up behind it. I think it's going to continue. I think the risk sentiment that we've seen in the market, we've had the pullback in stocks. I think that is, as we both agree, a pullback and not a correction. So I want to go with this risk on theme. I want to buy the New Zealand and sell the yen. So I'm going to put you in the trade the other way round. So you're selling the New Zealand yen at this level.
All right, short Kiwi yen's the first one.
Okay. And the other one, I mean, he's given me Bitcoin, so that was on my sort of on my watch list there. But I'm not going to be obviously giving him the trade in the same way that he's given me, because that would make it pointless. Oil. Now, this is a bit of a gamble, Kathy. Oil. We've seen some big moves in oil, as you know. So let's put it up on my screen here. So oil has been on a tear to the upside. Okay. Quite frankly, I'm not totally sure why it's up to the upside. This is a gamble. I'm a trend follower, but I think oil is running out of steam at this level, around the 69.50 level. So I am going to put Philip long oil. He might like it because it is trend following. He might like this, but I think this level of resistance here in oil is going to be respected, certainly at the, well, I say the first time of asking, it's been respecting it for a number of times now, but I expect it to be a significant level that will hold for now. Here you see it there on the 4-hour chart, bounced off it there with a big move last time, all the way back down to 62. Respected it there again with these other two big candles. So I'm expecting it to hold. So you're long oil, Philip. Enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, one more.
Okay. And we're basically going to put you also. We're going to put you long euro against the pound. Oh, I can't do another one. Can I do it? Can I do?
Yeah, you've only given us 2, Kiwi yen and oil, so we need 3.
Yeah. So can I do euro pound, or is that another forex? Is that not allowed?
Whatever you want.
Okay. So let's go long euro pound for you, Phil. Again, I think that is a trade trend continuation to the downside. So I wouldn't want to be long that pair at the moment myself. I think it could fall out of bed from these levels.
All right, good
Excellent.
stuff. So why don't you, Philip, walk us through how you feel about the 3 trades you've just been given? Kiwi yen on the short side, oil on the long side, and euro pound on the long side.
Absolutely fine. New Zealand, Japanese yen. I don't think I even ever saw that chart in my life.
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Look, it's great. Thank you so much. But you're going to laugh with oil and euro sterling. But here we go. I'll just do a very quick template with my boring moving averages and stuff. So daily time frame, this looks like it's uptrending to me. So there's a breakout of this trend. There's a continuation pattern here, which broke out to the upside. So this is actually a long trade. The only thing that I would do, I would use a fib. There's another level up there. I can use it on my other charting. I can't use it on this one, but potentially, if I put some horizontals and see if we can meet any of those, maybe anything like this. So these would be resistances. They should be red rather than blue. But yeah, this is a long trade. It appears to be breaking out. I'm going to hold it because quite often when you see these significant breakouts, you could see a pullback down to retest that breakout level for another leg higher. And if that's the case, I would be putting the stop. Andrew is right saying 2 times ATR is usually, if you don't know where to put your stop, this is the best thing. That's what I'm saying to people as well. If this breaks to the upside, this is a nice bull flag. It could spike higher, and in that case, this many points extended to the upside for anybody who's trading price action would give them a take profit level. So the stop, let's put it at 78.70 for now, and keep it open with take profit at 78.25. I might readjust it later on, but let's keep it. Okay. Is that okay? Did you get all of these levels?
You can always punch it into our chat afterwards, but let's talk
Okay.
oil. We did get
funnily
levels,
enough,
by the way.
Funnily enough, for oil is one of the challenges that I wanted to give to Andrew is actually short crude oil at current levels. So he gave me a long one, long trade, and I agree with him. This area here is massive resistance. It's psychologically important, $70 per barrel. That's a big level. And we talked about round numbers before, if you remember, Kati. Retail traders, they love round numbers. They take profit around round numbers. They take entries. They put stop losses around round numbers and so on. But I feel that crude oil is bullish because when you see this longer term trend is still up, the price is above 20 and 200 period moving averages, and this is a massive bull flag. So if we do in fact see a breakout and an end of day close above 70, I am a buyer on my account anyway, above 70 with a view to take profit higher towards 75, 50, 76, possibly even higher, maybe even 100 over a longer period of time. So I am a buyer here. This is great. The only thing is the stop needs to be fairly reasonable. So down here, 68.80. Let's do that. So about 80 point stop with a view to potentially take profit at the cluster of these highs at 74 even. So 400 points of potential gain for 75, 80 point stop. Good risk reward. Good risk reward. Happy. Okay. It's a swing trade. Let's see if it's triggered. I don't know, but it looks good to me. The last thing you said, euro sterling, and yet again, that's another thing that I agree with Andrew as well. Euro sterling. I would love euro sterling to tank a lot actually. And let me just do this very, very quickly because I know we are running out of time probably. In my book, this is a sideways consolidation after a significant corrective pullback lower. The fact that the daily candle is below 20 and 50 period moving averages is actually quite bearish. So I would be a seller here as well. I would like it to go lower. So the only thing that I can do is I can put my stop, and yet again, you can either use that 2-time ATR, or I'm going to put it slightly below these clusters of the lows at 85 even. So I'm going to be risking about 23 points on this trade. The only good thing about this trade, Andrew, is euro dollar is a very slow moving currency pair. It doesn't move too many points as a trading range. So 20 points of risk, happy to sit with it and see if it turns around. If it does, I would be taking profit at the cluster of these previous highs at 85.60. So let's hope.
Oh, I think you make a good point there, Phil. If I can just interrupt you there, sorry, Kathy. You picked the fact that it's a slow moving currency pair, which is why I think it's important for people to use the ATR for their stops. You have some volatile currency pairs that are winging around at 60 pips on a 1 hour chart. You don't want to have yourself on a 10 pip stop. So using an ATR is very good. I think way for certainly. Well, I use it all the time, but also for people that are coming into trading for the first time, not to get sort of whipsawed out of trades by placing stops too close. So using an ATR is good. That's good that you sort of on the same page with that.
Two times ATR is the best thing. But I was saying I've heard myself say hope. Okay, and that brought me back in my young days when I was just starting up, and we had a head trader. And if you hit your daily limit, you had to go and talk to him and say, I'm okay. Can I trade more? Can I get more credits and that kind of stuff and so on? There was another guy walking with a big stick around the trading desks. He always said, don't you tell me you hoped that something might happen. Hope means HOPE. Hope or pray equals exit. So anytime I say hope, it gives me shivers because he said, you either got in too late, your position is too big, you're not in a psychologically right frame of mind to stay in this trade. So never hope. And I just said, I hope it might turn around. So there is my story for today, and I'm going to shut up. Andrew, over to you.
I think that's a great story. The hope and think. We shouldn't really be using those words. I think who knows what's going to happen. We should just be following our trading plan. But that's a great story. In the trading pits, because at the moment I'm trading with, I don't know what the market is. What do they say? 5 trillion in the forex. Who knows what it is? But in the trading pits, you're knowing who you're trading with. You can see, and you can immediately see in the trading pits in the day, the guy that was sitting there hoping that the market was going to turn back. The looks on their faces when it was going against them, and they're hoping that it's going to turn. So yeah, no more hoping. So you've got me long Bitcoin, I see.
Yes, we need to talk about
Bitcoin. Don't tell me you're making money.
I don't know. Am I making money? Let's have a look. I got a very bad feel. Bitcoin's dropping off at the moment, I think, isn't it? Okay, so I'm long Bitcoin. To be honest, in my own trading, I haven't traded Bitcoin in this entity. I mean, I've got some Bitcoin on this thing, but I haven't traded Bitcoin in this genre before. But I'm quite happy to take this trade long. I think this correction that you've seen in Bitcoin, a massive correction. We were talking about it a couple of days ago, weren't we, Phil, before we came on the challenge today. That drop for no reason, or no reason that we basically know, is that 18, 19% drop, I think you see here. A 50% of that move, I think, is the reversal that I would expect to see at some point, back up to 48. Okay, I mean, it's 2,000 pips from here. I wouldn't mind I don't know how long we got on this, Kathy, how long we run it for, but I would have 1,000 pip stop with a 2,000 pip profit target. Is that okay for this type of thing, or is that too wide?
No, I mean, we were going to evaluate it 1 week forward, and we'll declare the winner then if you want to float it for longer. That's perfectly fine.
Okay, great. Then I'll have my stop then around the 40, just below 45,000, so 44,950. Yeah,
okay, got that.
And a couple of thousand pips, a 2-to-1 risk reward on that. I think the 50% of that flash move, whatever it's a flash crash, whatever you call it, takes us up a couple of thousand points back to this zone here. So we like that.
All right, and the last one is pound yen. We're run over time, and we still have one more trading battle. So let's get through these quickly.
Okay, so you're looking at pound yen. Pound yen. Well, you've seen on the momentum meter there. Pound is a strong currency. Oh, pound yen. I beg your pardon. Yen is the weak currency. Yen, I think, will be a soft currency into next week. I don't like that currency pair myself to short it. I'm quite happy to be long the pound yen, but unfortunately he's put me short. So I've got to put stops in here. And let's have a look here at the chart. We've broken out. I mean, you're right, Phil, to throw this one at me. We've broken out of a big level of support here. Okay, big level of support. The yen is weakening up. Momentum is now with the pound against the yen. I would definitely want to be the other way round to what you've given me. But if I'm long, if I'm short, as you've given me a short, I would have a 60 pip stop. Okay, and I would be looking at, I just don't like that trade at all, Kathy. I'd have a 60 pip stop and I'd have a 90 pip profit target for that. For now.
Look, we are well into our hold time. So if anyone wants to close any of those trades, feel free to. I would actually say tell our producers, just mention it briefly, tell our producers, and they'll close it for you, because we have to get to our last challenge, which is what do you actually love? What are you going to leave us with for the week that you think is the best trade for retail sales coming up, or anything that you're looking at in the week ahead? I'll let Philip go ahead.
For me, yet again, I'm actively looking at gold. So this is the chart for gold that I have. Disappointing to see gold push lower. Normally, when you see corrective pullback in equities, it's indicative of speculative positions being closed, and intelligent and smart money, and intelligent investors and conservative market players going into safe haven of some sort. So they would pile into yen, pile into gold, Swiss franc, something like that. And we saw a corrective pullback in equities, but gold did not rally. And the key level that I was looking at was at 1808, which is my 200-day moving average. It's actually 1809 on this chart now. I would be a buyer of gold above 1808, and end of day close above 1808. I feel that price could go higher, potentially targeting 1821, 1834, 1844, 1850 targets. So 4 targets, partial profits taking on each one of those, with a very, very tight stop. Stop would be at 1800, 1800. That would be a stop on that trade. Alternatively, if I see a corrective pullback from these levels, further selling pressure, US dollar strengthening, for example, gold liquidation, and a loss of these lows at 1784, that would definitely change my outlook, and I would not touch it long until I get 1760, 1750 again. But that's what I would love to see.
Okay,
as
so
a
you are
contrarian
going
trade.
long gold. And,
long gold above 1808. End of day close above that level, I would go long. Yes.
Got it. Andrew, what do you love right now?
Okay, if I can ask them to close out Phil's gifts to me. So if you can close out, I didn't realize we'd gone past the 10 minutes, close out my pound yen and close out my Aussie New Zealand short. That'd be great. I had it literally targeted down here before we came on live to go long pound yen into the weekend, having broken out of the sort of significant resistance that we've seen. So I'm liking this trade to the upside. So I want to go long pound yen. I really think that if we do pull back, and you may see a pullback, I'm one for a 50% pullback. The 50% pullback would give us into around the 152 level. I want stops below there. So I want to stop around 151.90 if we can. Okay. And I'm going to look for a pullback or basically a profit target up at around, let's just go out to the higher time frame chart quickly to see where we're not going to get into any trouble up there. So I'm going to look at my next target level would be, I would say, this area of concern where the market certainly thought about it. Profit targets at 152.90.
All right, so
it's
that
not
looks
much
good.
better than one-to-one, better one-to-one.
All right, that looks great. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. As you know, there's a lot of trades on right now. It's pretty much dead even, too close to call. So we will probably be floating a lot of these positions into the week. And as I can see, it looks like Philip is the marginal winner. But if you joined any of our trading challenges, you'll know that the tides turn quickly. And at the end of the week, things could change significantly. So we check back in with us. We will send you and let you know who's the ultimate winner of the trading battle and who gets to support their charity of their choice. So there are a lot of great morsels of gems that our traders gave to us, such as pairing the strong with weak, 2 times ATR stop, and trading trend line breaks. I am sure there's a lot more valuable information that all of you, as well as I, could learn from our traders. So I'd like to give them an opportunity to talk about how our viewers can get in touch with them and get more information from them and follow their trades. So Philip, do you want to share a little bit about what you do?
Okay, yes, thank you for the opportunity, and yet again, I know loads of people from Andrew's community are watching this in addition to the guys that you invited. So I'm pretty sure that Andrew can offer the same or similar service. So we are not competing against each other. It's just it's a kind of variety here. But for those of you who don't know me, this is, if you can share my screen here, please. This is my kind of community. So it's called TraderCast, and if you click on that and sign up and register, it's a subscription based where I do my daily broadcasts. There's community posts and there's a huge amount of education there as well. The other thing, that if you're not into community and you're looking for the education, this is the site where you can find me. It's called My Trading Skills. We offer a huge amount of free courses. So if you click on this, you just sign up, completely free. You don't have to leave any money or anything like that. And you can access all of these courses completely free of charge. If you want to know more, you can get into community. If you need to know more about paid courses, mentorship, we offer that as well. But start with the free, see if you like it. We are CPD accredited, we are award winning, and we are trusted. Our courses are scoring 4.6 on Trustpilot as well. You can see what other people are saying about it. So enough about plugin. They're free. Go and check them out.
All right, Andrew, go ahead.
Okay, thanks for that, Kelly. Great stuff you're doing there as well, Phil. Yeah, we do. Basically, I run and host a trading community here at forexsignals.com. The name on the tin implies that it's all signals. It's not. It's really focusing on education and creating a community for like-minded traders to trade and learn as they go. I often say that, I'm also a private pilot. I didn't learn to trade or to fly an airplane by reading it in a book. I think you need to experience it, and I think trading within a community is the one way that you should be doing that. I mean, learning from others. We've got to stream a whole team of mentors here that are streaming live. So we're on literally 5 or 6 times a day. streaming, looking at market opportunities, trading our own strategies, which we haven't really done here today, but that's fine. So trading our strategies with streaming, it's like having that private mentor on your shoulder throughout the trading day. I know from being in the trading pits, Kathy, that and then migrating to the screens, it can be a very lonely business. And with loneliness, boredom, people are compelled to take the wrong trade. So we want to focus on the community. We've also got a great education section that I just drag it across here briefly. Great education section, lots of videos going on for myself and my fellow mentors in here. I mean, I think we've got over like 300 videos now for education purposes. We've got lots of trading tools as well to help. You've got the heat maps, that momentum meter that you saw me talk about. You can download that as well. And again, like Phil, it's absolutely free. You can come over, try it all out, and see what you think before, of course, you get committed to it. So it's basically a trading community, education, keeping people focused on their trading journey. And obviously, we've got a vibrant chat. At the moment, Friday afternoon, we've got 319 people in there chatting away at the moment, as you can see. Sorry for those, for just exposing you if you're there in the chat, but there you go. That's basically what we do, Kathy. And welcome anyone to come over. If people do come over from the trading battle, let me know and I'll roll out the red carpet for you. Enough of plugging.
This was truly one of the best trading battles we've had. We've gone over. We don't always go over because we were so immersed in listening to your trades, both Philip and Andrew, and watching your charts and really hear about your trading strategy. I think you were both very, very clear on how you trade. And I thank both of you so much for joining us. And to my producers, there were so many questions I didn't even get to ask, like how Andrew lost $110,000 in 2 minutes. We have to either bring him back or do another video on this because it's just so much great content. For our viewers at home, this was another high energy, high intensity trading battle, proudly sponsored by 8cap. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. And we look forward to seeing you at the next one.
Well, thank you again, Kathy. If I'm invited back, I'd love to be